boys and girls, I'm back today. Yesterday I read you some information about the wind, some informational text, and I have some more informational text today that I want to read to you about more about the wind. And I want us to remember first, informational text gives us real information about a person, a place, or a thing. So the thing today that we're going to get information about is the wind. Yesterday in one of my books, in this book, you got real photographs about the information, but in this informational text there's illustrations, but it is real information that I want to give to you. And my book today is called Weather Words and What They Mean by Gail Gibbons. She's actually the author and the illustrator. So she wrote the words and she drew the pictures. She makes sure that her pictures match her words when she's being the illustrator as well. So we're not going to read the whole book right now. We're just going to open to the part about the wind. So here we go. Wind. Wind happens when warm air moves up. Warm air goes up and cooler air moves in to replace it. So the warm air goes up and it's gone away, and the cool air comes in to take its place. Warm and cool temperatures affect the wind speed and direction. Wind direction is where the wind comes from. So wind doesn't always come from the same way. Sometimes it comes from the east and sometimes it comes from the west. It comes from different ways on different days depending on what is going on. So look, this says gusty, and she's saying, ooh, it's windy, and I can see that her scarf is moving and she's having to hold on to her hat. On very windy days, you have to hold on to your hat sometimes if you're wearing one because it might blow away. We can't see the wind. It's not like when it's raining and we see the raindrops and we see the puddles, and we can actually see the raindrops or the snow or the thunder or the lightning. We can't see the thunder, but we can see the lightning. With wind, you see what it's doing around you. You see a flag moving on a flagpole. You see branches on a tree moving. You feel your hair moving in the breeze, or you feel it on your face. You feel it on your body. When wind blows with more and more force, a windstorm develops. There are many kinds of windstorms. Often they cause damage. So this says, a gale is a strong windstorm. I have a connection. I remember when I watched Frozen 2 the other day with my girls, when they're in the enchanted forest. Olaf is walking and he gets picked up by the wind, and everybody gets picked up by the wind, and it's big and it's crazy, and then the wind drops them back to the ground. And it kind of made Olaf a little bit nervous, and he was a little bit scared. And he decided to name the wind Gale. And he named her Gale because a gale is a strong windstorm. And that's kind of what he was in. A hurricane is a spiral-shaped windstorm that comes from the tropics. That means it develops somewhere right at the ocean, at the beach, where it's hot and sweaty a lot. And we're lucky we don't have hurricanes here in California, but they form over water. It's a windstorm that starts over the water. And another kind is a tornado, and a tornado is a funnel-shaped windstorm that twists as hot air spins upward. So there's a tornado. You see how it tours like that? And that's what we saw too I remember seeing in Frozen 2. It's like a little funnel cloud that they all get pulled up in the very beginning of the when they're walking through the forest, the enchanted forest. So we know that wind happens when warm air goes up and the cool air comes in to take its place. And the wind direction is the which way that the wind comes from. And the other day we learned in our book about whether we saw these pictures. Let's look back and review. We saw that the wind can be fast or slow. It pushes boats across the water. It blows hats off of heads. There's all different kinds of wind. And we saw in this book about about the wind. Where's the wind? The wind. The wind. That told us that the air is hardly ever still, and when it moves, we call it the wind. If the air moves slowly, the wind is gentle, and we call it a breeze. When the wind blows hard, we call it a gale. If it's even harder, a hurricane. And we've also found out yesterday in this book that wind, it's not always cold. And I know that you felt that too. It can be cold or it can be warm. And we also talked about how when you are on top of a hill or at the beach, you feel the wind more because there's no buildings around to block the wind. And so that's why you feel it stronger on the top of a hill or at the beach, two good places to fly a kite. Now, today, what I want you to work on with a piece of paper at home is this. This is what you would have done in your learning center with me today. And we did this last week with the sun. Remember, well, 2 weeks ago now, we did this with the sun. And it says, the wind is. So I want you to take a piece of paper, and a grown-up at home can write these words for you. The wind is. And then I want you to draw a picture and use your phonetic spelling and write something that you can tell me the wind is. The wind is strong. The wind is moving. The wind is air. What do you think the wind is? Tell me something. And then the next part says, the wind has. And again, a grown-up can write this part for you, and then you're going to use your phonetic spelling to finish that sentence and draw a picture. The wind has what? What do you think the wind has? Tell me what the wind has. And the last one says, the wind can. What can the wind do? The wind can do a lot of things. I want you to think about something that the wind can do, and you're going to write it using your phonetic spelling and draw me a picture to match. Your grown-ups can write this part, and you can write the rest of it on your own using your phonetic spelling. Parents, I will take a screenshot of this paper, and I will post it in the comments so that you can see it and recreate it if you want. Just something for them to do today. Feel free to drop a picture in the comments if you like about what they did. I'll be excited to see their work. Thanks, friends.